I'm going to talk a little bit about how the guild is structured. And sorry, I'm getting messages. So one of the things that's going to happen is the noble citizen rank is getting phased out in Eternal Kingdom. So people who are not raiders, who are still sitting in Eternal Kingdom, are going to be asked to move to Endless Kingdom. So we're going to have even more people in Endless Kingdom. And it's important to me that the people in Endless Kingdom feel like they're a part of the guild and not just a side guild. So I want people to think about tonight, what can we do to make it a more vibrant, thriving community?
Well, I have one big suggestion.
Go ahead.
Specifically keys. Uh, I'll talk about myself, not about anybody else. I'm a noble citizen. I have a hard time committing to being part of a raid group because I work full time and then some at times. So I can't do that. I mean, I probably could, but there'd probably be times I'd be missing it, and I don't think the group would like that. However, my suggestion specifically is, for closer maybe participation or closer collaboration, closer involvement, however you want to call it, is somehow maybe doing keys together, because that's like the next step after uh, LFR, after the fun runs, where it can basically gradually escalating, in difficulty. So,
Okay.
that's one suggestion.
I'm going to take note on that, and we might talk about that a little bit more when Henry takes the floor.
Let me, I guess, let me be blunt about it. Sometimes people need help in terms of maybe, I don't want to say carry, but for instance, me, maybe I'm not the best healer, but in order for me sometimes to progress, maybe I need people with higher eye level, maybe, because I'm not a raider. So, and I'm sure there's more people like me in the guilds. So, that's just one suggestion.
Thank you for that. Like I said, I think we'll talk more about that after Henry's taken the floor. So we're going to talk about some of the ways that Eternal Kingdom can help Endless Kingdom people. With that, I also want to talk about the guild finance. Our bank has $1 million gold in it. I don't know how we've been able to maintain that amount. We have active repairs going out. But we've stayed steadily at $1 million gold for the last 6 months. So whoever is putting into the bank, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I do want to make sure that everyone here is aware that there is a contest for people who are donating to support the Raiders in Eternal Kingdom. Part of collaboration is us supporting them. So hold on, I'm multitasking. So I linked it. The contest has some neat prizes every month, and I know we have a lot of people who like to farm. So I wanted to make sure everybody's aware that the opportunity is there to collaborate with Eternal Kingdom and help them out and get tickets to prizes in return. So it's not just giving, but the opportunity to get something in return. Currently, the repair amounts for Noble Citizen are 150 gold. If I can see our guild finance total go up to 2 million. I'm going to open up the repairs to 300 gold. I understand that I'm asking people to donate in two directions. I want people to donate where they feel comfortable. People who farm have an opportunity. I don't want them to lose. However, we need to stay healthy in Endless Kingdom as well. And I don't have any intention of formalizing the bank structure at this time. So that's where the guild finance is. And with that, I want to move on to events. Inri?
Hey guys, I didn't mute myself, did I? Okay, I didn't. I didn't make like an actual itinerary for myself or anything. I just figured this would be more of like a laid back thing. A lot of what I usually say at meetings, like I won't really say here because I assume most people are there. It's really difficult, right? It's always been really difficult to kind of bridge the gap between EK and ENK, and I know this firsthand. A lot of people probably don't know this because I've been around for a little bit over a year now, but when I started in EK, I actually started in ENK because the way that it was initially was that the raid teams were split up. I forget exactly why that was, but I came into EK. I got my invite because I started with a newer team, right? And that one just happened to be an ENK. So what Belle was saying about taking initiative, like that cannot be, said enough. Like it really, really is like about taking initiative. And I don't mean to like toot my own horn or anything, but that was what I did, right? Like I approached Belle and Zay and was like, hey, like Sin had stepped down. There was a position to be, I forget what it was called before, but basically what I'm doing now, running events, right? And I was like, hey, like give me a chance, like I can do this, like I want to do this. But that would have never happened, right? If I had never initiated that conversation, nobody would have ever come to me and said, hey, like why don't you do this, right? So what we're looking for basically, it's taken about a year or so, maybe like 10 months or so, because I think I came into leadership like several months after I came into EK. But we're at the point now where I've been able to expand the leadership and it not just be like me trying to struggle and figure out, hey, what am I doing? Because if I don't know what I'm doing, I can't really guide people and help other people kind of figure out like to find their own way, figure out what they want to do to help EK, right? But we're in a really good place now. I think EK in general, the community is very, very solid. What I would like to see is obviously some more participation from ENK. I feel like that could definitely be heightened quite a bit. And I think that will take a bit of facilitating on our part, but I think that will also take some initiative, like she said. So what I am looking for, I do want to fill like a couple leadership roles. I would love to have, like a rep for like ENK. Like I think that would be phenomenal because I mean the reality of it is that the majority of the time when I'm online, I'm not in ENK anymore, right? So I don't really see the like going ons internally of like the actual physical guild itself. So what I would want is somebody that I could work with, and I mean, there's tons of stuff we can do, right? So I'm not going to go over like every single job that we might have that would be a good fit for that, but I would love to see somebody that intends to stay like more of the casual, like social type side, but wants to step into leadership because we don't have somebody like that. We don't have a voice for that, right? And I think that would be a good voice to have at the table of leadership in EK as we continue to grow and like push forward and like really evolve like organically into an organization that almost runs itself, quite honestly. In response to the keys thing though, I'm not really sure quite how we could facilitate that because I feel like that there's a solution to that kind of in itself, and the fact that we do have like the trade LFG channel, right? And we do have guild chat. Like if you need a key, like you can say, hey, like, I need a key, or like, hey, I need a carry. Like there are tons of people in EK. I know like Raider side, even on my team, like I can speak from experience that, if I see like a 10 Court of Stars, right? Like I want to run that key because there's stuff that could benefit me from there, right? So like key carries, I feel like maybe if you were to advertise like, hey, like I'm like a low item level or something, like, I'm more of like a social member, but hey, I've got this key, like I would love to like have it run. Like generally, like you probably will find somebody that will do that. I mean, and we can work on ways to kind of improve that system and make things more accessible because I don't want that divide, right? Because I do remember being an ENK and people kind of thinking like, oh, like who is she? Like she must not be very good, right? Because she's an ENK, and that is something that I don't want to exist. That's a mindset that has to disappear. So trust when I say that like we are constantly thinking of ways to make that go away because it's not right and it's not true. It's not accurate. It doesn't mean anything, right? Because we're all in the same Eternal Kingdom community, which I think is what people should really focus on and try to take to heart, I guess. But another thing that we are working on, and I can't say too much about it yet because it's very, very preliminary. It's something that's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of time. Is a trainer program. And I know before we had something that was like a vague spreadsheet where people could kind of, hey, I want to be on the spreadsheet, and like anybody who asked, they could be listed, right? The way that we're doing this one is that it will be an actual application that you have to fill out. So anybody on this new, it's not even going to be a sheet. It's going to be an actual trainer type program where everybody that's listed there, alongside class resources specific to your spec, your Discord, everything like that you could ever possibly need. These people will be hand certified by their teams, by people in leadership, that this person actually knows what they're doing, like for 100%, like they can help you. And those people on that listing will be available and be willing and happy to speak with you about anything regarding like your class or spec. So that would be something too that I would love to see kind of facilitate more of that integration between EK and ENK, right, where we kind of form those relationships and build those bonds. And like, really, the best way to like get involved and like interact with people is come to the runs, like come to the weekly runs, participate in Discord, like the contest, things like that. And that's something that we're always working on growing to, how we can expand, how we can make it, better, like the contest, the improvements, just everything. So there's a lot coming with that too that I can't really say. But there's a lot coming. Like, we're always building and trying to make up something new, right? Something innovative, to just make this more of like an enjoyable place than it already is, hopefully. But yeah, sorry if I rambled a bit. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I guess like if anybody has any questions for me, I feel like I don't really get to talk to ENK people too much. And that's something I would really like to not be the case. But of course, like if you don't ever want to speak to me, you can talk to Leia too. We're both always available for anything with questions or concerns or anything like that. Or if you want to start a run yourself, you can talk to us. We're always open to, like new ideas, so long as it doesn't have like a conflict, anything like that. But we're flexible. Like we're here to work with you, right? Like my job solely in EK is to make sure that things run smoothly. And that's all I'm really here to do, so long as it's making people happy.
Hey, Henry, are you planning to at some point mention that we're working on getting an achievement run for the guild together?
Yeah, that would be one of the roles that I would want to fill as part of that ENK spokesperson, right? Because when you're in like EK, like the actual physical guild, like you have the benefits of like certain guild achievements, like you can buy certain meds, or certain pets, certain mounts, things like that. And that's something that we would want for ENK because it's been requested. But that's going to take effort on ENK's part, right? So that could be something we would facilitate or could facilitate, but it would take people from ENK wanting that and then participating in that. It can't be, a bunch of people from EK coming over like, all right, we're going to get the mounts, or whatever the achievements. But that would just be another thing that, we could work on, if somebody were to want to step up and kind of, take the reins a bit of something like that.
Thank you, Henry. I'd really like to see the achievement runs thing happen. So I'm hoping that somebody here tonight will be interested in helping with that, or know somebody that is interested in helping with that. Alessandra, are you ready to talk?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, it's your turn.
Okay, so with the sponsorship program, most of you probably either came in through a raid team and have switched over to ENK, or came in through the sponsorship program. And basically, I missed a little bit of the meeting. I apologize. But there's going to be some surveys that go along with anyone who's newly been sponsored sometime this year, trying to come up with additional ideas of things to do besides just the achievement run that Henry was just talking about. And like I said, I apologize for being late, so you may have talked about a few other things in there as well. But trying to get more ideas about what you guys would like to do besides raiding, and how everything's going in terms of the non-raiding side of the guild. So we're definitely looking for some feedback. Because you're just as much a part of the community as any of the rest of us, and we want to know what you like, what's working for you, and that kind of thing. We also want to find out, how the sponsorship program is actually working. Are you finding, did you find what you needed to find when all the fun runs are? How to find stuff on the forums, that kind of stuff that your sponsor should be helping you with. So we want to make sure that when people are being brought in, that they actually are getting the help and the integration that they need so that they can feel like they're a part of the community, more than just, hey, you're here, good luck, have fun. So we're working on that, trying to send those out. And so if you do get one of those in the mail, or if you want to just send out ideas, even if you aren't newer, but you have some ideas, absolutely please bring that up, because like I said, you're just as much part of the community as the rest of us. So
And we're getting a few people in, I think, from the Black Temple Run.
Yes.
Yes.
Welcome to the meeting.
Thanks.
Alessandra, were you also looking for someone else to help with the social team?
yes, absolutely. It would be really helpful to have somebody who's maybe more of a social member as opposed to a raider, that might have some other ideas and things like that, as well, as integrating new people, bringing them in. We definitely need help processing apps, talking to people, getting that kind of stuff taken care of so that we can invite, additional family and friends and so forth to the community. And as of right now, all the people who are currently working in the sponsorship program are all raiders. And it might be nice if somebody who was not a raider, who has a little bit different experience in the guild, who can provide a little bit of help and insight and things like that from that perspective. So we definitely need help trying to get some people to help out, at least one, maybe two people to help bring people in. Also, I do want to remind people that if you want to sponsor somebody, but you find yourself in a situation where you are not eligible, feel free to ask your raider friends or your veteran friends. I'm sure even you're not raiding, you probably have tons of friends in the guild to help you out with sponsoring your friends and your family and things like that. So, get involved as much as you like, preferably more than less, because there's a lot of really cool, fun things to do and cool people to meet. And I've met a lot of people through doing what we do with the sponsorship program.
Can I just piggyback off that really quick? Something I really like about the open runs is my kind of mindset, and the reason why I want something happening basically every night of the week is so that everybody, regardless of whether you raid or not, you have something that you can attend probably at least once a week to fit around your schedule. And the way I kind of see these open runs, right? Let's say you go to my Friday Mythic run, right? You just walked away with 19 new friends. And I think that cannot be undervalued. That is really, really incredible, because just by showing up, just by getting yourself involved, that's how you step away with more of these connections. It's really networking, honestly. That's really what it is, except with the benefit of friendships.
I'd like to add two things on that, and one is for the sponsorship program, a lot of the people in this channel right now are not eligible to sponsor someone. Work with the social team. We'll find a way. The second thing is that one of the ways that people have to join this guild is to attend 4 of the open runs, showing that they're committed to showing that they're committed to participation in the guild is a way to enter the guild. And I don't know how many people are aware of that avenue, so I want to make sure that I advertise it to you all.
Sorry, what was that? What do you mean?
So if you have someone who wants to join the guild and they don't have a sponsor, if they participate in our open runs 4 weeks in a row, they have a ticket into the guild.
Oh, that's good to know.
So what we're looking for is that person who's willing to show that they want to participate in the guild and be part of things. And so that's an opportunity that lets them make friends, get to know people in the guild, let the guild get to know them. And I think it's a win-win for everybody. Thank you, Alessandra.
Sorry, I was late, guys.
Kaylee, you want to talk about mercenary rank?
Sure. The guild is working on organizing and putting together a rank, and it's the mercenary rank. The mercenary rank is a sort of backup mythic rating roster for teams to look to as villains. And so for those of you over in Endless that some of you have mentioned not having the time to be able to commit to like a full mythic schedule, but many of you are still interested in raiding mythic. And a mercenary is a way for you to be able to accomplish that, to be able to fill in and help teams as a fill in when they need someone. And there are some requirements that would need to be met, but basically you would be able to fill in whenever team leads or raid leads have someone not show up. You would be able to fill in for them. If you decide that you are interested in being a mercenary, you would just need to talk with me. It would also mean that you would be moved over to Eternal Kingdom, and you would be at the mercenary rank in the Eternal Kingdom.
Thank you, Kaylee. Anybody have questions about that? Okay, Rathar, Destiny 2.
Yeah, so we are, what is today, the 21st? We are 3 days away from the PC launch of Destiny 2, and we have, right now, 5 official EK teams. I know Force is doing something on their own, but we have 5 official Eternal Kingdom, and there's no breaking out of Endless Kingdom, Eternal Kingdom, that kind of stuff. It's just straight, everybody is EK when it comes to that. 5 full fire teams, which is a group of 6 players, and we are always looking for more people. Now, some of the stuff that we're doing is raiding, so it's a 6-person raid. But there's also stuff if people want to just try the game out and play. There's gonna be a lot of us on that are gonna be trying it. It's built into the Blizzard client, so you'll be able to sit and chat with your friends in WoW. You'll be able to chat with your friends in Hearthstone while you're playing if you decide to play. So it's actually a really exciting time because it's the first non-Blizzard application that's in the Blizzard server architecture, and that's just from a technical standpoint. But from a gaming standpoint, we're always looking for people to play with. This would be a great opportunity to meet some new people because, and when I put the teams together, I specifically said, I don't want to play with people that I'm already playing with. And I think somebody's got their mic open.
He's muted for right now.
Okay.
Let me know when you fix it, CJ.
So, like I said, I deliberately chose to make sure that, at least for me, and I tried for some of the other ones, to not play with people that might be on the same raid team or that might be, already playing together, because, this was almost a forced opportunity to make friends, because you kind of have to. You need to be able to learn how to play as a team. So this was almost a forced experiment of, let's see who can get along with everybody. So if you're interested in the EK Discord, we've got a Destiny section in the pinned posts. There is stuff for joining a team and letting us know if you're interested.
Thank you. That sounds great. Leah wanted to talk about a video.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I actually kind of wanted to piggyback off really quick what Andrew was saying. But actually, I joined Eternal Kingdom as a casual and became a raider later on. But like one of the first things I ever did was become involved with the community coordination staff, and I started working on the guild Facebook pretty early on. So I really encourage you guys to get involved. You don't have to be a raider. And I made so many friends just by being involved in different things like that. Anyway, so for our social media, we're working on a couple YouTube videos, and we need your help for 2 of them. One of the videos we'd like to feature people who came over to the Eternal Kingdom community via guild merger, and we also are doing one that's going to focus just on members in general. And we don't want to just be raiders. We want to have people featured from ENK as well. So if you're someone who has come over from a merger, maybe you've been here for a long time as a social member, please get in touch with me. We love to feature you on our videos. Sorry. That's it.
Thank you, Leah. Okay, Zate had a couple of words. I'd like to hear from him now.
Hello, everybody. I am Zate, casual extraordinaire. The difference between me and someone in ENK is I started the guild, so lucky me, I get to be the GM. But right now, I don't think I'd even qualify for the mercenary rank because I'm a carry and I'm proud of it. It's everyone has something to contribute. Sometimes you're a world-class raider. Sometimes you just log in and you provide friendship and community for somebody, and clearly different roles, but they're all needed. What brings stability and longevity to this community is the diversity of people that we have here, because inevitably we're going to have raiders that can't raid anymore, and they're still going to need a place to plug into the community. And if you can't hear, my 2-year-old needs applesauce.
Aww. That's the real GM right there.
Can I say hi?
Okay, she wants to say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh my
So,
God, she's adorable.
She's the real GM. Be honest, Zate.
Yes. She runs the show at home, that's for sure. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying, what drives this place is the diversity of people, right? And people plugging at different places throughout their life and still being able to stay part of the community, whether they can raid a bunch or not raid a bunch. And so don't undervalue or undersell. If you're just an ENK, don't think of yourself as just an ENK, or think of yourself as a valuable part of the community, because that's what you are and who you are. Again, the only difference between me and you is I talk to a lot of people. I guess I don't know, because I'm in meetings all day. But you can do that too. You can not be raiding and you can still be chatting with people. And I mean, there's people that just need someone to talk to. And we play a game, right? But it's more than that. It's a community, and that's what makes ENK a very special part of the community as a whole. Just like an individual raid team, right? Like the structure that we have with Blizzard is what it is. We'd like to all have one guild, right? But it's bigger than that, and so we do have some lines drawn, but it's not meant to be greater than or less than. It's just meant to be kind of signifying the role you play in the community. And I just want to make sure that clear. I think Henry was hitting on that pretty well earlier as well, that there's different roles but not different values. So the one thing I would like to say is, for if you're in ENK specifically, the greatest limiting factor from day one until the end of time, in my perspective anyway, is leadership and the innovation and ideas that leaders, trustworthy, people that are committed to the community, are willing to bring forward. Like I said, I would literally be in ENK in terms of my role in the community right now, because I'm working at passing off the leadership role in the militia team, and I don't parse well enough to be a mercenary, but I sit and I talk a lot, and I have ideas, right? And I push people and I encourage them to do different things. And that's something anyone can do, whether you're raiding or not. So if you're interested in developing leadership skills, I mean, literally you could take a 3-hour college class on leadership, and you probably aren't going to get what you'd get by actually being a leader in a game like WoW, because the broad spectrum of people you're going to be involved with, and the broad spectrum of personalities, and creatively thinking with other people, and then integrating into existing leadership structure to create your own unique experience for when people log in, that they can enjoy the game because of something you're contributing to the community. That's something anyone can do, even if you're the worst parser ever, and you literally play by smacking your forehead into the keyboard, and that's as good as you'll ever be. Like, you still have great ways to contribute. sorry, I'm digging at myself a little bit here. I'm not trying to insinuate anything, but there's people that play the game a lot and they parse high because that's their focus, right? And then there's people that want to focus on social elements and the community. And in my opinion, that's just as valuable. It's different, but it's just as valuable in terms of what we want to do as a whole, as a community. So I want to make sure that's clear and to spread the word and encourage people to get involved. And if you've had an idea about this is how you get ideas. You're logging into the game and there's something that you're not experiencing that you want to experience. That's your calling card to say, okay, that thing that I want to experience, I want to create that. For me, I wanted to create a guild that you could rate at a high level and play socially and still be in the same community. And I couldn't find it, so I made it, right? So you can do it if I can do it. That's my piece.
Thank you, Zayt. And maybe to piggyback a little bit on what Zayt said, one of the things that's important to me about being in this community is that everybody has an equal say. I want everybody to feel equal and to be able to speak up and be heard. One of the things that people don't know is that this community has been extremely important to me for the last couple of years. When my real life was not going well, I was able to check in to the community and feel supported here. And when I didn't have much of a social life at home, I had a social life here, and it kept me from being depressed. I mean, I was depressed, but it kept me from being, completely without hope and without options. So I know that this community is that kind of lifeline for a lot of people. And I want to make sure that those people feel heard, feel like they can speak up and can participate, because when you can't participate in real life, there ought to be options, and we have those options here. Thank you, everyone, for speaking today. I wanted to open it up to open discussion here. So if you have ideas or thoughts, this is the time to share them.
I was wondering if you guys thought about maybe perhaps starting up a Horde guild, just so that we can throw some of our Horde tunes in there.
I've thought about it only because we started an EK for PTR. It's just not something that I had gotten to yet to bringing up. I have noticed that a lot of people seem to have their Horde characters on Area 52 though, so I would imagine that if something were to happen, it would probably be on that server. That seems to be the Proudmoore equivalent for Horde, but it hasn't, as far as I know, it hasn't been officially discussed or anything or moved forward with.
It's been the most, in terms of long-term questions, I've had someone ask me in terms of expanding the community. I've had that question a lot. And my question, my response has always been the same. If I find someone that I don't feel like I have the time capacity to do it, but if I find someone that really I feel like espouses our values and wants to do that, we definitely enter into some sort of discussion. And the dozen or so people that have brought this to me, no one's followed up on it. So we definitely be open to it. But if it's going to have our branding, it needs to have our culture, right? So, whether that, it doesn't seem that it would be on Proudmoore. I mean, we could try to do it on Proudmoore, but that's kind of might not be too social. So finding a different server and finding, how to integrate that. So I'm all for it. And whether it's going to look more like, a rating community or just kind of a social, kind of log in and play Horde and check it out community would be up to the person that wanted to establish the thing. But you can talk to me, talk to Belle if you're interested in it. But it's, it would be a significant commitment for someone to start up, and we would have to trust you, of course, if you're going to try to do that.
I was in a guild in Star Wars: The Old Republic that tried something like that, and it's really hard because you lose your main the main way of keeping in touch for a lot of people is, for here it's Greenwall, for there it was guild chat, and you lose that. And then the people who are mostly playing on the other side, trying to convince them that they're not a separate community can be really hard. Not to say it's impossible. I mean, I would have said that a guild this size that's this together would have been impossible before I saw it. But that is a big challenge, and I have seen some things. If someone wants to try that, I'd love to love to consult with them a little bit about some things I saw that happened when we tried it in Star Wars, and it was really tough.
I mean, we could throw it on an agenda for an all guild meeting or something, but I mean, we could just create a horde guild on Proudmoore side just for people that want to level up and experience that. You know, Real ID makes it a little bit easier to stay. I mean, you can't like join each other in a group, but you can talk, right? You can see who's online, stuff like that. But I mean, really, if we wanted to seriously do a horde shoot off, it would probably be something where we got a couple teams, 2-3 teams that moved together to a server and established an EK branch. And I don't think we're at that point right now, but I'd say like a year from now, you know, like that's something that would maybe be like a real possibility. But again, what I was saying, my main plug there is the ability to find good leadership to make something like that happen, to facilitate something like that. That is always going to be the limiting factor. So if we find the right person, I'd be all for it. I don't shoot down many ideas. I just understand the limitations of the resources that we have as a community and do the best we can with what we've got. Okay.
As a side note to that, if that ever does get decided that's going to be something that we're going to do, we can always, you know how we have our trade chat essentially here in the Discord. You can always set up, I mean, granted we wouldn't have Greenwall, but we could still have like a horde trade chat side, so it wouldn't be completely impossible for people to communicate. They'd just have to pay attention to the Discord instead of the in-game chat all the time.
Yeah, Discord gives us some more options that we haven't had in the past.
It seems like the most reliable, for lack of a better way to make something like that work, would be to treat it like what's going on with Destiny, you know, almost like it's a separate game, so that you don't sort of expect WoW to, you know, the normal WoW communications to work.
Yeah, the problem with the Destiny stuff, well, maybe not necessarily a problem, but that's
My main
all.
proposal for that was because just to throw some tunes in there that I don't really play, but once in a while I'll get on to do some things on the Horde side. Like, for instance, today I was farming out battle tokens in Nagrand to get my Tolbuck. And, man, that's difficult when you don't have anybody, you know, both Alliance and Horde. So, you know, and now that I have another tune on the Horde side, it's like, well, what do I do with it? I don't really want to join a guild, you know, because I won't really be playing all that much on that Horde tune, but I'd prefer to put it in maybe like some sort of an EK guild, Horde side, and just, you know, leave it there or something.
Well, I think it's probably inevitability that's going to happen. The thing that I've requested more than anything else is a PvP team, trying to find someone to really get that going. And eventually we'll have a great PvP team. We got one that's kind of starting up and getting steam now. And eventually we'll probably have a Horde guild. I just don't know. It's just, like I said, we're kind of waiting for the person to come along that really wants to. That's like their passion. That's what they want to do. And it'll happen sooner or later. I just, you know, don't know a time frame, or, you know, we're not in serious discussion about it.
Other topics?
Would it ever be possible to like put all these roles that you need filled like in some sort of place, maybe on the forum or in Discord?
Lucky for you, that already exists. Hopefully somebody can find it and link it. Zayt had the idea of creating like a help wanted type poster that we try to update frequently with like what our needs are. Actually, thank you for reminding me. I need to go in there and update it myself for what I'm needing.
Because I know I might probably forget all of the things that we discussed today, even though it's recorded. But I mean, going through it is
sure
much easier to look at something.
If we can go back to the mercenary rank, are the requirements on the website, or are they just being compiled right now?
I have them on a spreadsheet, but that spreadsheet is really only available for those who are currently mercenaries. I'm working on a poster. Actually, I already have it up. I just need to put it on the website at this point. You're always available to talk with me as well, and I can talk with you about the requirements.
I don't know if this was covered or not, Belle. But did you discuss at all what you're planning to do with the bank, or is not quite sure?
So I discussed the bank a little bit, but I did not discuss any plans with regard to the bank. I plan to keep it funded the way it is right now, which is completely through volunteers. And I'm not planning any structure to it right now. If there are suggestions for how we should manage the bank, I'm totally open to hearing those.
Well, I guess maybe I just never really inquired how we should participate in terms of the bank. But, you know, for me, for instance, the way I don't know if I can call it participate, but, you know, I don't use the repairs, and, you know, so I don't really draw anything from the bank. And then, you know, anything, obviously, any runs, whatever, I think there's a percentage of your loot that goes towards the bank. Is that still the case, I believe?
No, they got rid of that.
Oh, did they get? Oh, that's too bad.
If they didn't, we'd be rich.
Yeah, I was thinking, man, I don't know, a million. I think it should have been higher. But yeah, I mean, you know, if I wouldn't mind participating.
The mechanic they have now are the guild challenges. You do guild runs and dungeons and raids, and it drops a lump sum into your guild bank, but you're limited on those per week.
Because if they weren't another thing, we'd be rich. Yeah, that's one repair belt, really.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm open. If somebody wants to take the lead on how we work the bank and wants to work with me, let me know. And until that time, I'm going to leave the structure in place as voluntary in nature, and depending on the goodwill of our members to keep repairs flowing. And like I said, if we increase in our numbers to double what we have right now, I will double the amount going out. What else? What else is on people's minds?
I want more people to come shoot aliens in the face with me starting this Tuesday. That's what I want.
Something that I think really can't be undervalued, and sorry if I keep using the same sort of like catchphrases or buzzwords, but is really Discord, and that was kind of hit on a little bit. We've tried really, really hard, especially with the addition of categories now being something that we have to work with Discord to try to make it grow. And we're trying to get it sponsored as well. And we went through that process maybe like 2 months ago, and we didn't pass the sponsorship then, but Zboot's been doing an incredible job trying to make this, you know, as great as it possibly can be with like the bot and everything that does with the different types of channels. I've done a lot too, trying to set up, you know, like the events channel and like screenshots, the streams channel, like trade, basically everything, you know, like the weekly runs, those types of things, like the more organizational types of things. So something too, if you can't currently see like events or things like that, like make sure somebody tags you as a guild member. I think sometimes that might be a bit overlooked, not due to anybody's fault. Just kind of like an oversight sometimes, because you may not necessarily be tagged to a team, right? So you don't necessarily have somebody that's like first-handedly accountable for you, that you're talking with on a near daily basis. But really, like, Discord is the way to go. Like, if you're trying to get involved, like, and that's something that I'm thinking about every single day. How can we expand Discord participation, especially in regards to, like, you know, streams? Like, I would love to see every single time you stream, like, you know, post a link, like, hey, I'm doing this, you know, and that really encourages, like, cross participation with EK and ENK. Screenshots of like you doing anything out in the world, whether it's, you know, like a pet battle, or maybe it's you went on a run with like, you know, the Black Temple group, something like that. Like really anything, like, you know, like we're trying to the best of our ability to create all of these resources and all of these platforms for people to let themselves get involved. And I think the best thing to equate that to is maybe like a college experience. Like, if you've been to college or even to high school, how do you go and make friends, right? You go to the clubs, you go sign up for events that you have interest in. So really, I mean, all that we can say, or well, I guess all that I can say, I can't speak for anyone else. If you see something that interests you, like, go. Like, it's an hour of your time. Like, what's the loss there, right?
Yeah, and put pictures up on the screenshots. They go on Instagram. Zenari, she's our Instagram person, and she loves like pulling cool stuff, like not just like kill shots. Like there are some really fun things people post. So keep doing that.
And in regards to some of the other social media stuff, if you're a content creator and create WoW videos and stuff like that, let us know. We can get that linked on the EK YouTube pages, or you can work with me and I can get it directly uploaded to the EK page. YouTube is, unfortunately, they've kind of changed some of their rules. So in order to be monetized, which basically means make money off of, you need to have 10,000 views on the page itself. Of all of the videos, they need to have like 10,000 views. So the more traffic that we can draw to YouTube, which is technically a free, it's a free avenue for us. If we can get enough people to view stuff and look at stuff, may start making a little bit of ad money off of that, which can help offset all of the other costs that EK kind of generates in the real world, which a lot of people probably don't even think about. It costs money for some stuff. So, anything that we can do to kind of it's all free for stuff. Uploading to YouTube, totally free. Uploading to Twitch, totally free. The more we can get our name out there, the better.
To speak a bit to, EK is not free. There are a couple people in leadership who put forth money every month and who do so quietly, which is, I guess noble, it's honorable, right? It's a really great thing that they've been willing to do this for so long, the people that have. But Z has set up a Patreon account for us to try to basically field the costs that we have of EK every month, which currently to keep EK running in its current state is about $45. We would love to see that grow so that we can expand our server. A common complaint that we often hear about the website is, the website's down, the website's not working. It's because it costs money for that, to have that greater stability. And expanding the Discord, expanding our social media, paying for certain things, expanding like merchandise. That's something that we're really trying to break into, that I want us to break into this coming year, and that we're kind of like trying out with the t-shirt contest right now. But yeah, like if you want to get more involved, that's another way too. If you can, of course, like if you're able, like pledge a couple bucks a month, and there's great prizes, like and great like rewards. One of them in particular that a lot of people seem to like is that if you pledge a certain amount, you can have your own private Discord channel every month. So it would be like a monthly fee. And then another thing too is if you look at your right side where the members are listed, some people have their name in the color of the artifact. And those people are people that have pledged. Those are the people that are financially supporting EK. So that's another way too. If you're not able to be in game a whole lot, but let's say you can pledge like $5 and you want to support the community, that is a fantastic way to get involved.
Any other topics, questions? We're almost at an hour.
Is the podcast still a thing?
Yep, it sure is. You can always see the link to the current episode or the most recent episode at the top right-hand corner of the website, and the most recent guild meeting will also always be linked there. They're actually... Yeah, go ahead.
There'll be another podcast coming up probably in the next week or two.
It'll be every month for sure.
Like, are we able to subscribe to it on like Podcast Addict or anything like that?
We're working on that right now.
Yeah, it's something that Leia and them are kind of working towards. For now, they're all posted. Aren't they all posted to the EK YouTube?
Yes.
So that could be something you could subscribe to.
Okay, thank you, everyone. The channel will stay open if people want to talk, but you can stop recording now.